Welcome back to the second half of Chapter 8. We are going to bring our model into the drawing. Alright, so first of all we want to come up to View Layout. I've started a new drawing. And Model View. Here we can pick from the opened models, or we can browse to a new one. I'm going to pick the Chapter 8 exercise. And then I like to go ahead and bring in all of the views right away, and I can evaluate and choose whether I want to delete them later or not. Come down, make sure that the hidden line showing is checked, because for these three views you definitely want to make sure that the hidden lines are showing. And once we bring these in, I'll show you how to remove them from this one. Everything else should be default. It should be true dimensions, not projected dimensions, not true. It should be sheet scale instead of a custom scale. And so we'll go OK. And then right away, let's go ahead and pick our isometric view. We'll go ahead and we'll change that to hidden lines removed. And click OK. And then I'll slide that over here out of the way. In fact, let's go ahead and we'll choose the shaded with edges there. And then click OK. Now, the next thing I want to do, and you'll notice it went ahead and it placed a center mark in my two circles, my two holes. This one's fine, but this one is in the same location as the center for this arc, and so we really want the center mark for this outer arc. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. Go to the Annotate tab and use the Center Mark tool, and I'll place the center mark there. Now we could go ahead and place a center mark for this arc. However, because of where the center for that arc is, right on this line and right on this line, most of it's not going to be visible. So I'm going to choose not to place the center mark for that arc there. Go ahead and choose OK there. And then I need my center lines for the other views. And SOLIDWORKS added this nice feature of auto inserting, and I can select the view and it will automatically place all my center lines for me just by selecting the view. So I want to go ahead and do that and click OK. Now I want to go ahead and go to Model Items, and this nice feature that SOLIDWORKS has included here allows us to bring our dimensions from the sketches into the drawing. Now we want to make sure, since I did not select each of my dimensions in the sketches to be used in the drawing, I want to make sure that the option not marked for drawing is highlighted. Otherwise, it's only going to bring in the marked for drawing dimensions. And it's going to eliminate duplicates so I don't overdimension. So I click OK. Yep. I want to do yes. OK. And it placed dimensions in all three of my views for me. Some of them I want to leave like they are, some of them I'm going to want to remove and place new. So let's start in the top view. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. And many of them just simply need to be moved a little bit so they look nicer. This one just needs to be adjusted to where it's at. This just needs to be slid over a little bit. and like so. And so that cleans it up pretty nice and includes everything. This one's stuck out there quite a ways. Let's go ahead and bring it in just a little bit. And so I want to go ahead and zoom to fit again. Now let's move to the front view. And here I want to do some changing a little bit of the actual dimensions. So my 45, this extension line really should come up to closer to here, but because of the way I dimensioned it in the model, it started it here instead. So I'm going to bring that up till that orange dot highlights, and that'll pull it right up there for me. Next, my center line is right in the same place as where my dimension wants to go. I'm going to go ahead and remove that center line since it's mostly hidden and we can't see it anyway. Next, I'm going to slide my dimensions out here. They auto snap together so they are in line now. And I want to do the same thing here. Oh. It's not wanting to cooperate with me. I'm looking for that orange dot to highlight for me, and it's not wanting to highlight for me, so I'm just gonna stop it right there. So I'll do the same thing here. No highlights, so I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit, just to give me that little bit of a gap that belongs at the edge of the part. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and go to my right side view where this dimension needs to be pulled off of the part, and come out here. There, it highlighted for me, so that's what I want it to look like. And we'll zoom to fit again. And that would be enough dimensions for this part. However, some companies like, and I'm going to move this just a little bit, there we go, instead of having that part sticking on there. Some companies like to have the overall dimensions also placed on the drawing. So let's go ahead and use a smart dimension. And I'll start here to here, and I'll place that right there. That gives me an overall length of the part. We do kind of have the overall height, but it's in 2 dimensions. So by placing, by placing 1 dimension, and it does not like, there we go. By placing 1 dimension there, it gives them the overall height. And then we need an overall width, which we can do from here, like so. Whoops. Like that. Now the reason that some companies like to have that overall, these overall dimensions on the drawing is because if they're trying to determine how much material it's going to take, they don't want to have to add these dimensions up or try to figure out what this is based on the dimensions given. So they like to see 1 dimension for the overall sizes, and that allows them to determine how much material it's going to take to make this part. And they know that they are asking for drawings to be over-dimensioned by doing that, but in reality, if we left off one of these dimensions, like say this one, and just placed the overall height instead, it would not be over-dimensioned by placing that height. This width, we're giving a radius of 2, which that does mean that we're over-dimensioning that, but they're okay with that. They're also okay with this one, even though we give this dimension and the radius, they would rather just have that overall length so they don't have to add it. Alright, so now I just need to go up to Properties, change the date to today's date, choose OK, and now all of my title block information has also filled in. All I need to do is save it, and this drawing is ready for submission.